Last week, Jennifer asked us if we would really cover the dynamics of shame. And did you know that shame is the major cause of your moral compass? Not your own personal shame in that way, but the dynamics of the shame that has been put upon you in your three different levels of existence. There is the dynamic of the conscious you, which is going to wish to deny any of those dynamics. You're going to understand that shame has always been put upon you by others, and you either take that on or not within the conscious level. However, the repetitive dynamics that have come at you through your subconscious, through the dynamics of the things that you see reflected to you back in your world, that says you need to look like this, you need to be like this, you need to say these sorts of things in order to be able to what? Fit in, be good enough as far as that dynamic of energy goes. And then there is the biggest level of all, which is the unconscious. And in that whole dynamic of the unconscious, you have the belief in original sin. You have the belief in what else, Adrienne? What are some of those core beliefs that you hold that
that we're not
women are this
women
or
are
men are
evil,
that.
or
And
men are that, or that we're not enough and there's not enough. Those.
don't you see that being played out in your world right now?
Mhm.
So there is that whole dynamic where, on the one hand, you are being fed a whole dynamic of propaganda of abundance. On the other hand, you are being, what shall we say, reinforced with the ideas that there's not enough and that you're not enough. We realize it's kind of the same old, and you can divvy it up in the dynamics of the chakras, and we will talk about that somewhat because we did give you some homework last week, did we not?
Mhm.
And what was that homework, Adrian?
Five, and only five, beliefs that hold us back, and five beliefs that promote our forward movement.
And we would have hoped that you might have identified which chakra you're holding those beliefs in and not be surprised when you're holding them in more than one. Now, the whole dynamic with understanding those limiting beliefs, we believe that we're going to find a huge modicum of shame that is at the source of the dynamic. Because living within this paradigm that you live within, there is that dynamic of that is the way that you are controlled. That is the way that you control yourself, and that's the way that the consensus controls you all, is by saying you can behave a certain way, but cross that line of that behavior, and it is shame filled. Go ahead.
Well, don't wear white after Labor Day.
Well,
That's
that's
frivolous,
that's kind of frivolous.
but it does. Do you doubt? Do you wonder if it's after Labor? I mean, that's the most frivolous. And then you can take either side of the
But
coin.
how deeply embedded in your subconscious is that? Is there anyone here today that is listening to this, or anyone in the future that is listening to this, that doesn't know that statement that you shouldn't wear white after Labor Day.
And
Maybe if you come from South America or something where it's a very warm climate, then you could do that,
well,
but not in the northern climate.
and there's obviously the more difficult and
Oh, sure.
perverse shame that is
Well,
dumped
there's a whole
right,
dynamic
left.
of belief that has to do with your bodily functions,
Oh yeah,
keeping your
lots.
heartbeat going, keeping your breath going, eating, eating, sustenance,
Hmm.
what you put in, how it comes out,
Hmm.
all of the above. Right. So, are you going to lead off this coterie?
I'd rather not, but I'll tell you why. Because I have about seven that I've not been able to cull down, and I have a feeling that at least a couple of them might be covered by others.
Well, that may be true, and yet you are a leader of this group, and so we would suggest to you that you pick one.
Okay.
Nah, 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 nah.
Well, I want to go right for sexuality.
Oh, dive right in, why don't you? All
Yeah.
right. All right. What about sexuality?
Shame, the general shame, particularly for women. Maybe it's not particularly for women. From my experience, it has been for women about desiring sex, enjoying sex, having multiple partners of sex, of 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 not being monogamous, of not following the routine of what the world says
And if
about.
I can join what Adrian is saying, sorry, so too, maybe it was from you one time, but I don't think it was. I've heard that quote like, if you're a guy and you sleep with 100 women, you're a badass. And if you're a girl and you sleep with 100 men, you're a whore. Such a double standard.
Uh, that's true. And that's based on the dynamic of shame for women, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because the dynamics have changed in the modern age. See, you're talking about a dynamic of a belief system that has not grown with your actual maturity as a species.